things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens, and our, let's see if this will work. Sorry, our other company is BlackSeriesEdition.com. And I'm going to do this. Number one, this should have been in the trash. I don't know why that's even in here. That should definitely been in the trash. So let's see if we can get this thing to stand up here correctly. And there's something. Maybe I should put this up top. I'll put this up here. Maybe this will have more of an arc to it. There we go. Maybe you can hit it from there. Maybe you see it a little better. Just have to keep that one piece from falling. My battery unit here. Let's stick that there. Keep that from falling over. My camera's already busted up as it is. I don't need to bust it up anymore. All right, there we go. So we're going to roll over that real quick. The reason why we're not going to do anything fancy with it, we're just rolling over it because I need to see if a motorized projection screen is going to have any issues up or down. The other products we have, not a problem. But the outdoor product is made a little different. So this, on the other hand, I need to test out. We also have two surface over there, which I got to cut in half because one of that's going to be submerged underwater. The other one's going to be basically in the freezer. So we can make sure this is working properly, because keep in mind, as I said before, I am going to be dealing with quite a lot of customers and business contracts online, mostly offline. And these are videos I need to be able to show them that, look, we've done the test, here you are, these are demonstrations, so they can see firsthand before they invest the kind of money they're going to invest in the company. So we need to have all these demonstrations. That's why the site is one big, huge catalog of test demonstrations and just about everything else. All right, let me see. Rollers. Did I even bother bringing one downstairs? No, I did not. Okay, let's see. I cleaned up the rollers from yesterday because there's a fusion in it. Oh, it's over there. And move it over. Now, I'm also too going to be destroying a motorized projection screen, because I've gotten this many times from people about being careful about buying motorized projection screens that claim to be outdoor. I don't want to get electrocuted. How would I go about doing that without getting electrocuted? Nah, I think I might pass on that one. That's a good chance for me to meet God in a way. I was thinking about basically putting water down on a motorized projection screen, but I'm not plugging that thing in. Oh, heck no. Not doing that. But anyway, yeah, because I'm definitely going to be getting electrocuted. I'm definitely not doing that. Or pass on that one. But anyway, as I said before, when you coat the screen with this technology and you're going to be using it for outside, it does not make the screen, it makes the surface right here weatherproof. It doesn't make the motor itself weatherproof. So don't use these outside unless it says it's weatherproof. All right, so let's begin. That's nice. There's some pipes going down here. What is this? That's the floor. Wow. Right, that's finished. So we're not worried about having a clean edge, because like I said, I need to test that to roll that up and down, up and down, up and down, over and over again and again and again, to make sure that that's not going to crack or peel. So that's what this test is going to be for. On top of that, we'll display movies and whatever we want off it. We're going to hang that outside. Now, like I said before, because we coat it, because I want people thinking because you coat that surface right there, that makes the entire screen weatherproof. It doesn't. Just that one part's going to be weatherproof. You're still going to have to bring it inside the house when it gets cold or rain, because a motorized projection screen is not weatherproof. You have to buy one that's weatherproof. And we'll just leave it out there. So anybody getting electrocuted? So that right there, that's for the fabric that we're going to have to cut and test. So we'll just get for those to dry. We'll have a 2 projectors set up today. We're going to have one down below on the motorized, and then one over top on a 150 inch. So we do 2 of those. And then we're going to take the fabric we have here, that's going to be cut. You see that part that's coated? It's going to be cut. I'm hooked up to a charger right now. It's going to be cut. Half of that's going to go to a tank, submerged underwater. The other half goes into the freezer. Because I need to know if this stuff is going to be able to withstand. The last thing I need is I have a 250 inch screen cracking and flaking on me in the middle of a snowstorm. So we need to know that this stuff is going to be to take punishment. And by how the formula is designed, it'll do what it's designed to do, but I need to know that 100%, and also too, I have to give that 100% who we're doing business with, that they're going to know that that screen's going to be to take punishment. If you've ever seen us do a frozen block screen, I'll put a link below. You'll find it quite fascinating. We had to do one for a contract we had over in Canada for these outdoor events in the snow, which was pretty insane. And we literally had to take a screen and freeze it into a block of ice. I had a really hard time getting that screen. I had to smash it up with a hammer just to get it out of there. Let's see if we can find that demonstration too. But yeah, I had to prove to them, because they weren't buying it. They were basically, they're like, yeah, this stuff's gonna crack and peel, and we're gonna have issues and all that stuff with it, and it's not gonna work. And we had to show them 100% that this screen's going to work. That's why I said you don't want to be having an event and sucker starts to deteriorate or something cracks or peels. That's why testing is important. That's why we do all this testing. We have to know 100% that it's going to do what it's designed to do. And I would think from people watching us or other people who don't test would watch these demonstrations and go, gee whiz, I should be doing the same thing too. Yeah, you should be doing the same thing too. This isn't just for show. It just gives me a 100% guarantee that I know that I walk into any establishment, I know this technology is going to work. Can't be in there with my pants around my ankles. I got to get this stuff has to work. All right, let me see. Get everything here. That's done. Oh, I need to. I'll get that done in a few minutes. I got to cover this up over here too. Man, I tell you, that's more tests on another surface. Testing. Hey, what's up, Cheese Ball? Mr. Cheese Ball, what's going on? Mr. Cheese Ball. That's a fusion we set up over there last night. You know, our neighbor's like, good gracious, man, you're up that late, early morning? Yeah, because if I don't, collides into this. Got things to do. Had to be early in the morning, the awful short that was bugging me. Which means I had to be up, and I had to see. I had to know it would work. I know it's going to work, but I want to see it for myself. It's not enough to see it. It has to be done. Like I said, a friend of mine said the same thing. You would think, with all the testing we've been doing since all last month was testing, that they would pick up on that and do testing themselves. No such thing. There are 180, 90, was it 98? 98 photos. You know how many photos this site has? Well, probably about a good maybe, I gotta count it, maybe close to about 500 photos already in. And the site's just being built. The Crystal Edge site has over 1,000 photos, easily. Has over 1,000 photos. You don't even have enough room in the shopping carts. They only give you like 9 photos. We don't even have enough in there. We maxed that out right from the door. So we started dropping links in there because we wanted more information for the customers. That's what the customers like to do, the pre-orders. Like the fact they can go in there, click on the shopping cart. Videos are right there from the door. That 1,000 lumen demonstration came in a lot handy. So that's what I said. Instead of the end of the day of people calling up on all these different things, all the information's right there. So that kills everybody's question about saying, well, we'll work on 1,000 lumens. It's going to work on 1,000 lumens. It'll work on 1,000 lumens outside. Let me see. Let's go over to the block of ice screen. Freezing the screen to a block of ice. Let's see if I can find my video. Freezing a screen into a block of ice. Should have put projection screen. So I know majority of people come over here. We got people coming over here. I know majority of people come over, naysayers, because they're curious. They want to know what Mr. Bird's doing, what he's up to, what he's designing. I guarantee you this much, it won't be the same stuff you're used to seeing every day. Because that's what you're used to seeing, the same stuff every day, same dark environment, same, yeah. It's right there. I told you I've done everything. When you could think about done to a screen, I've done it. This is where we learned how to make a screen weatherproof. The Black Series technology is all the information that was fed to us through years to create the perfect screen. No one has been able to came out. We can get right now today. I can put a challenge up today for everybody, not just for certified, for everybody to match that demonstration. It'll be another demonstration called the 1100 Lumen Challenge. It's never been matched, ever. Because the reason why it'll never be matched, because everybody's following the same protocol. Dark ambient light controlled environments, high-end projectors to make sure the screen looks good, calibrated projectors because the screen doesn't look good when you turn the lights on. That's the normal protocol. We don't do the normal protocol. We do past the normal protocol. We do something completely different. So that's why our screens become the best. Certified screens, you don't see gray screen paints going near those gunmetals. They wouldn't touch those suckers with a 10-foot pole. Diamonds, and they don't go near those screens. Any demonstrations you've seen with a gray screen paint going against a black diamond? None. It's very rare you would see one because the diamond technology is extremely good. If you think a dark star 9 is a nightmare and daylight screen is a nightmare, when you go near a black diamond, that's a whole different form of technology. I've tested this stuff before, so I know what I'm talking about. They never go near that because they can't even touch it. They're even their so-called fake gunmetal can't even touch that screen. You know what real gunmetal looks like? Let me show you. Taco has an actual gunmetal. I just noticed that. Was in his room getting ready to get his room painted up. He has an actual gunmetal sitting on his wall. That is what real gunmetal is supposed to look like. That's Taco's screen. He was the one that got painted that extreme dark gunmetal technology. Yeah, he got it first on his wall. That's how dark they are. A true gunmetal is almost near black. That's what true one. So if you look at black diamond technology, that stuff like it's near black. When I first saw the black diamond, that's what the first one they had was called the black diamond. I thought it was a black screen staring at it. It's not black. That thing's just an extremely dark gunmetal. Very good one at that too. But it can't take our technology because our screens are physically black. So that screen sits in that freezer for about 3 days. And to make sure it turns into a block of ice, I actually duct taped the screen down and submerged it into a pot of water to make sure that every single nook and cranny was embedded by ice.
Screen, heated it up in the conventional oven, and today it is frozen. So, get this out of here. Real quick so you can see I froze the screen. And this is just to demonstrate exactly how much punishment the screens can take in. Keep in mind, cracking thing here, it's the ice cracking. Keep in mind, these screens have special coating that we apply to them because we coat them ourselves. We can add extra things to the screen. That's something hard to do when we're selling screen paint. And keep in mind, these screens only come inside.
Now, at this particular time when I made this demonstration for over in Canada to show them that you could beat the crap out of our stuff and it's not going to crack or peel, you know what the naysayer was doing to me. Oh, my product's weatherproof. Show me how many outdoor demonstrations you have starting today in your library right now compared to what we have.
100-inch to 120-inch. We're working on smaller sizes, but keep in mind when it comes to our screen paints, you can paint screen sizes of 180, 150, 140. These screens don't come in that size. It's a portable screen for you to basically take outside for backyard events and so forth. Already has the built-in grommets and so forth. And I'm just heating it up a bit on the flame so I can actually get it to remove from the pan a little faster.
Now I'm gonna let this run. I'm gonna take care of some business, but gentlemen, next time you run your mouths about, I can go back in my archives and back myself up on so many levels. It's not even funny. I can literally do a video today on how you do my work because the demonstrations I showed time-stamped were out before you were actually doing videos on YouTube. If you want to go down that road today, but I don't have time. I'm very busy. But anyway, next time you make a statement about my products being fake and not weatherproof, how many screens you have sitting outside all year round? Not any, right? Okay, just wondering.
So these screens are designed not to crack or peel. A lot of you are going to use these screens in outdoor elements. You may have a storm outside where it's going to get to it. The snow's going to get to the ice, the rain, and you're going to have a screen that's going to be to withstand all this and basically not crack or peel. So the technology we developed for this actually when we coat this on, it actually embeds itself, it actually interknits itself into the material, and that allows the screen to be able to take on all this punishment. Including on top of that, we coat it with a special coating that allows the screen to take on a lot of abuse. You know, keep in mind, when we do the screens ourselves, there's a lot of extra things that we can do to the screen. All right, so that's loose right there. All right, so I think that's hot. That bottom area is probably kind of hot. I'm gonna take my glove here. Finally got the dishes and everything cleaned up in here in the kitchen. I grab this thing, like so. I'm gonna get a good grip on this. All right, it's kind of heavy. It's really freaking heavy. So block of ice, and I'm going to take this downstairs. Got the projector already set up for it. I'm going to take it outside. Okay, so I'm going to the back of the house. There we are. Take it out here because I don't want to mess up my floor with this. There's the screen, a big solid block of ice. Right. So I'll come over here and grab my hammer. I'm gonna need to get it out of there. Let's see if it's frozen. Oh, nice.
Now, the reason why I prefer to you guys as gentlemen, because I don't want your name in any of my videos at all, period. You're an embarrassment, that's why. I don't want you on my videos. So that video right there got me 60K
Alright, so
for a contract over in Canada
that's most of it
to
right
put screens
there.
over there because I had to convince them that this screen was not going to crack and peel in that harsh condition down there.
Right, so
And that same technology you see in there
upstairs.
is embedded in all our screens. From each one of my formulas, I've taken something away from it and combined it into some of the technology we have.
Pot.
This is why we have screens at 250 that we're sitting out there all year round. Heat storms, rain, snow, sleet, whatever is out there. I even have demonstrations on 180 inches of snow. I had a hard time getting that thing out of there. You have no idea.
Hot water over top of it.
I had to heat it with hot water. I had to cook it. I had to stuck it in a freaking conventional oven. I had a pain in the neck getting that screen opened up. You ever cooked a screen before? I did. You ever make a screen that's fireproof? Is that possible? Yeah, it is. You can do it. You just have to know what you're doing. And you have to pick a certain material to do it.
Get this tape off of it.
And all kinds of
People
stuff.
want to have to tape it down so it can fit in the pot. This camera down just throw tape off of it. Sorry about that. So I stuck this in the freezer, submerged in water, so basically I can just turn it into a huge block of ice.
So let's get past this part because this is going to be a while. It took me a while to get this screen. It was 24 for me to get this screen out of here. You see the part where I start breaking it open. Because I literally thought we were going to get it out because at the end of the video, let the screen melt.
Check out, listen to this.
You got to douse it in hot water to get it to open up. That's ice.
You should ice in it. Now, it's starting to come until you can see there's no cracks or anything in the screen at all. I'm thinking about doing that next, rolling the screen. Huge piece of ice in there.
Ice flying out of the screen.
I didn't think it was going to take this long in order to get into the screen. You know, I didn't think it was going to take this long. So yeah. All right. Screen took some time to get into, but we got it finally unfrozen. Cause man, this thing, when I mean it was a brick of, it was actually literally a brick of ice. Because I had soaked the screen previously and then went in and I'm that kind right there. Went in and soaked the screen again twice. You know.
See, that's why I say that, you know, when I got people that are just ignorant enough to make dumb comments, I can go back to my archives. I've done literally so much testing. I can go back to my archives. I can pull videos up and make them challenges. You couldn't do that demonstration because, again, in the environment that I stuck the screen in, it's an extremely well-lit environment, which means from the door, even if your screen was able to pass that, it wouldn't be to make it through that. That's a styrofoam screen, by the way.
If I was smart enough to bring those screws with me, which I probably need to do. Okay. So there's ice particles on it right there. Like huge pieces of ice where I froze the screen completely. And look at this. No cracks, nothing. This is what it's designed to do. It's designed to take on a lot of punishment. That new stuff we put on, that new coating allows the screen to be able to take on a lot of punishment. All right, so notifications popping up on my phone. The whole video, not half the video. Let's get the whole video. There we go. Now keep in mind, this screen was folded up, soaking wet, folded up, duct tape.
So when I make these statements on camera about my products being weatherproof, because I got screens sitting outside right now, 150 has been out there for about a year. And it's been through snow, it's been through rain, it's been through sleet, it's been through heat storms, it's been through everything. And that screen has not cracked or peeled. We have 250 inches that turn into giant sails, and they're being drenched in rain over and over again and again. Birds hitting them, we have to scrape the screen down, recoat it over again, because a bird may hit the screen or a skunk may spray down the side of the mud, could splash over the side of the screen. I have that experience. These other individuals don't have that experience at all, period. Can't show you any demonstrations like this because they don't have the skill, or they don't have the basic requirements, or they haven't done it. If they haven't done basic, simple tests, there's no way in the world they're doing that and run the risk of having the screen crack on them in the process. That's the block of ice. I can always go back because I know exactly what keywords to put in for the block of ice. Ambient light rejection technology for ultra short throw projectors. You know why we know every single ultra short throw projector can basically hit on our technology? Because we did a demonstration outside on an Optima GT 5500 or 5600 outside at 140 inches on an ultra short throw projector, and the same formula we used embedded in that technology, we now incorporate it into all of the screens because that screen had the ability to do that. 140 inch screen. The GT 55 is a 5500, that's 5500 outside. There I am right there again. There's my other demonstration. You don't have any.
Going up there, first things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Luminous 4K screen paint using app.
That's an Optima GT 5500 outside on a 140 inch screen. That projector is only designed to do a 100 inch screen. So when they start running their mouths about, oh, we have ambient light projection, no. When I see demonstrations of y'all showing off, well, one of them, the Philosopher, has the Optima. I own both of those projectors. I had the Optima GT55 and 56. I was able to get a screen way over 100 inches out of that projector, and I was able to project it anywhere I wanted to, including outside. And then you just stick the color levels. I did contrast, I did color, and did white levels. So this is why the technology we have today can be produced outside on ultra short throws because of the technology here that was also incorporated and embedded into a Black Series. Black Series has something of everything embedded into it. That's what makes the screen so freaking insane. Do I see any demonstrations of your screens outside like this? Nope, not one.
On a different level. As you can see out here, we have no form of ambient light controlled environment.
Black contrast levels. I can give you a challenge right now for this. Ultra short throw projector, take your machine outside. Display, that screen's 150 inches and display it. In the time of day, I think it was around 5 o'clock I was outside, and show your contrast levels and color without the screen washing out. Excuse me. And I want to do that one too. I can make that a challenge for you right now. I already did it, it's right there. Take that P2 outside, take it as an Optima, take it outside, put it on a 150-inch screen and display. And I don't want to see nothing but colors, I want to see contrast, white levels, everything we do. Starfield demonstration. And you produce that on your screen. Can't do that. Yeah, I didn't think so. If you want to talk about ultra short those projectors, I know everything there is in ultra short. Your little projectors that you have in your demonstrations, you guys are not experts in ultra short throws. Are you kidding me? What test demonstrations have you done on ultra short throws? I got a projector sitting on the floor that cost me $60. I can display it 150 inches on that screen with no problem whatsoever. I can do it in a 48 environment, not sit in the dark. I do the same thing every other ultra short throw does. You sit in a dark environment, poorly lit, and you basically do demonstrations on what fits your screen the best because everything else would fail. But you're more than welcome to do that one. How about let's try 180-inch black screen outside, 180-inch. There's me again. I'm the only one that has a 180-inch black screen outside.
Around 67 first things first. My name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of the luminous 4K screen paint using ambient light projection technology gain. This right here is our 180-inch massive.
That's the Supreme 8.
Called this Supreme 8 ambient light projection massive 4K. This is the.
I can give you this as a challenge. I've already did it already. I can give it to you guys to do, but you won't do it.
Or you can use this for commercial.
So when you guys question my ability about ambient light projection technology, we are experts in that field. I can show you a number of demonstrations of outside on screen size way over 100 inches. Where are your demonstrations at? I can give you this challenge. You won't do it. Matter of fact, I gave them a challenge of a 250-inch screen and they refuse to do it. Contrast levels playing with no problem. For one, I can sit here, and I can watch Star Wars. See my black bars at the top are both black, they're not gray or washed out. So this is the technology that we have the ability to do, and that's sitting outside at 150, but the difference is that technology is far more advanced than this one because it pulls up a very extreme high white level. This white level was good, that one makes this look like it's nothing. And anybody else would have sat there and saw this and been happy with it. Not us. We were actually good with it. It was fantastic, but we can make better. We can make better. We can make better. And now we got technology outside. That was on a 1080p. We got technology outside on a 720p that looks that crystal clear. That was Star Wars right there. I actually got this one in front of my page. 150 inch. This is why I said at the end of the day, this is why I don't entertain you anymore, because you can't even back up my old demonstrations. If you can't back up my old demonstrations, there's no way in the world you're going to pass the test with technology we have today. What is the point of basically even acknowledging your existence if you can't even back up basic paint demonstrations? That's when I realized I like, gee whiz, I can't even back up a basic paint demonstration. I got one to do today. I'm the only one that has dual 150-inch black screens outside. Where are your screens at? You don't have them.
First things first, man's bourbon company is crystal age technology.
One's 720p, one's 1080p. Did you realize that in the demonstration?
Hopefully.
Yep. One's a 1080p, one's a 720p, one's 5,000, one's 4,000.
Turn my Wi-Fi off, and I'm just using strictly.
And yet, yo, get on camera and yo, blah, 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 blah. I don't have time for that. I got things to do at the end of the day.
All right, there we go.
This is why I have all these demonstrations to back my products up, because I don't sit on camera and talk all day. I got things to do. So in that backyard, how many screens I built in that backyard?
Alexa, what time is it? We got 6:07 p.m.
And this is why I know at the end of the day that 2 or 3 100-inch screens, Mickey Mouse math, does not equivalent to size of a 300-inch screen, because that's 250 inches and that's not a 300-inch screen. A 250-inch goes all the way up to the top and comes all the way down to the floor, and that's 250. So that's why I say, the reason why I'm saying it, because one of the individuals, Mickey Mouse math, said that 3 100-inch screens equivalent to size, and mind you, we got the recording to back it up, and if you changed it, said that it equals a 300-inch screen. Where in the world did you get those calculations? You don't even know math at the end of the day. You can't know math. There's no way in the world 3 100-inch screens is going to equal a actual physical 300-inch screen. That's 250 inches in there. That doesn't make a 300-inch screen. It actually makes a 198-inch screen and 235.1 settings.
This is going to be a short demonstration because I want.
It's not tall enough to do a 300-inch screen. It doesn't even have the length of it. Let me see. No, almost near to the length of it. Not the height of it. No, not to a 300, a 250, because a 250 is about the length of that.
Isn't it beautiful? So 250 inches back to back.
See, while y'all are on camera, talking nonsense and not backing anything up, Mr. Bird was building and designing. I can go to any company and display my technology. What can you display? Nothing, because you don't have nothing to show. Same dark environment, same projectors every freaking day. Here we go. 150 inch black screen outside, 720p projector.
First things first, my name is Kenneth Burke. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. We're on the outside on the 150 inch.
Instead of them minding their own business and concentrating on their own craft, they were too busy minding my business. You weren't hurting my company. I wasn't losing any money over it. I was maintaining contracts. Now I leave out of here with a much bigger adventure ahead of me. And I got the technology, I got the knowledge, and I got the time to back it. Where you guys can't even get out of an apartment to do a demonstration like this, or a room, wherever you're at, apartment, house, wherever, to do this, because you were too busy hating on me. You had all this time. You didn't do any tests on your products, nothing. You wasted all that time on a product that turned around to be a house paint or can't pass house paint. See? That's where all that hating got you. Let's see where we want to go next. Oh, where did we do the demonstration number 25? Let me see. We did outer space, outside.
See how this is a washout that remains black at all times.
Winter snow, outside. Football game outside.
Perfect.
At 190 degree viewing angle.
Using on the 4,000 lumens, 720p.
Beautiful animals outside. Those are the same pictures that you see on the Crystal Edge website when you go to the slideshow. That's the actual video from it. Let's try 180 inch screen in a winter storm. That was a fun one. Let's see, black projection screen, go 180 inches outside in the snow. 180. Is it 180? I think it was 180. It was 180. Outside. Let's see, outside. Let's see if I can find my 180 inch. Oh, that's another one we did outside. Oh, that's what we did the C outside. We did.
Okay, how are we doing out there, Bert?
Actually did a C outside. This is why we will have contracts galore once we basically breach outside. We're actually breaching offline. Because that's something the gray screen would never be to do, because they can't see colors, they can't pick up blue. That's why you guys have to wait until it gets really dark outside to do a demonstration, including white screens. But gray screens is something we're not going to see. Majority of screens we're going to bump into are going to be white screens. On 200 inch screen. Right there. Look at that. Look at that. 125 inch LED screen. You know what we do with that screen right there? You know how amazing that screen will look when we get done with that screen? It'll be super jet black. It'll match those speakers when that thing comes down. What was this? Another 150 inch display outside. Y'all gotta catch up. Y'all so far behind. There's another demonstration outside. Another 150 inch. I know that y'all didn't post on your website that your product works outside because you don't have enough demonstrations to prove that your products work outside, not enough tests. And then you got already posted on your products that how your products are supposed to be work with venue projectors. How many venue projectors have you done yourself? Not a lot. Some of you've done none of them. Perfect example, 7 years ago, how you know who went in and copied my product. This is a D5K. Look at the color of it. This is before a Frankenstein or UV ever existed. This is why I told you they've been going back and copying my work.
Hey, how you guys doing out there? My name is Kenneth Bird, designer of Digital 1 Crystal Screen Paint and Digital 4K Crystal Products. Sorry about the noise in the background. There's a fan running. I need to actually drive the screen, or somewhat drive the screen a little faster. Okay, so I'm still receiving some emails asking for the D5. Paint basic and indoor ambient light.
Look at the color of it.
Indoor ambient light, you're really not truly testing your product. You want to make sure that I had already gone in and stirred it up.
Well.
When you get your kit, all you have to do is just basically
So yeah, they've been copying my work since day one. That's how I know how to make your products, gentlemen. That's how I know how they're made. That's how I know exactly what's going to happen to them. How do you think I knew when I popped the top on that container what was going to happen? I knew that stuff would wreck my own stuff at the end of the day, so I knew it was going to do to yours. That's making my product.
open the kit and stir it up. You're done.
Claim it as yours.
Now, we'll put a little bit here. It's a whole lot. I think I had too much on here.
That looks familiar, gentlemen.
This is why you can do
Especially you,
a
philosopher.
massive screen.
You've been
with
copying
this,
my work for a while.
50 inch with the 1 cord, or you could do the 2 cords and do the massive.
The only problem is that you got the tone right,
Because it
you didn't
doesn't
get the
require
performance right. Because we didn't do the demonstrations that you guys were doing.
And
If I did, I wouldn't have got that contract.
Like blue screen, if you make a mistake, you get any little imperfections in your screen, you can't do this. So I can do that. I can do this. I can.
Now you see where I just ran my hand through that paint that way? You remember what he said in his demonstration? I wouldn't run my fingers through it so and so and so. The only person that was doing that demonstration of running their hands through paint was me. How would you have known that if you didn't watch one of those demonstrations? That's how I knew. Because I said goose screen, because the goose screen application required a multi-coat application and you couldn't touch the screen. If you touched it or somebody did touch it when the screen was curing, you had to do the same process all over again. So in that demonstration at that particular time, we were going back and forth with goose screen. So that's why I took my hand and I ran it across the screen to show that, hey, look, and if you make a mistake, you can't mess it up because it's impossible. So when you made that statement in your video, how did you know? That means you were going back and you were watching my demonstrations and trying to come up with a color close enough to the product. Gentlemen, let me tell you how it all works. Just because you come up with the same color doesn't mean you have the product. It means you have to pass all test demonstrations under the product, proving that you have the product. Now, since you guys don't have any tests, what am I going to test if I have your products? Honestly, what would I? Dark environment, high power projector, that's basically about all I see. Where's your real test at? So there's no testing. But if you claim that you have the same tone as my product, you would have to pass every single test showing that you actually physically have my product. And if you can't pass that test, then there's a problem. And the reason why we know you can never pass is because we do a lot of tests with the network gray and house paints and everything we can throw our hands at, and you guys don't do those tests. If you can't pass it, there's no way in the world you can make our products. Meanwhile, you've been copying my work.
Take my hand and I can run it right down the side of the screen. There's no way you can make any mistakes. I can go right back over it. Doesn't make a difference if I go this way, or this way, or this way. As I say in traditional blue screen paint, you can go up and down, and up and down, and up.
Now you hear the company I'm talking about in the video? I say goose screen. Because goose screen, you had the robot formation, up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm doing this back and forth like that to show you don't have to do that. Yeah, you guys were copying my work.
Up and down.
Trying to copy my
There
work.
has to be an even application on the roller. Look, I've been painting for a long time, even I don't know what the freak that means. Just put the brush in the paint to do. Over here for a minute. And you can go through with goose. Yeah, all right. So
way the paint.
This paint, proof that you can actually design your screen on anything, hang it up on your wall, enjoy it, and there's no any way.
So you see the color of that paint? Yeah, you guys been going back trying to copy my colors. That's what you've been doing. When we used to have an open mic, we had trolls that would come here carrying on talking about, oh yeah, you know, black product, black product. You don't know anything about me. I was making the stuff you have on your wall way before those two ever existed. So technically you have my work sitting on your wall. Well, I wouldn't say my work, because what I've seen, our stuff was tested to a certain degree. It had to be. That's how we were able to obtain that global contract, because they went over and tested our stuff. But when you guys came to ranting and carrying on like that, realize that I was making that product before you ever were even thought of on YouTube. It didn't even exist when I was developing screen paint products. What you did was you took an older generation technology like this, the black and white paint, that's what it is, and you introduced it to a high-end projector that we didn't have back then. Of course it would look completely different. Because now you have 4K, we didn't have 4K. The biggest projector we had at the particular time when I was 3000 lumens, was considered to be the high-end projector of all projectors. If you had a 1080p, it was good, extremely good. At that particular time, DLP started breaking and people were complaining about the rainbow effect versus DLP versus LCD and then all that other stuff, debates they had back and forth. You didn't really have any laser 4K all they did have one, it wasn't for the consumer. So clearly, when you take a product like this and you introduce it to a high-end projector, you're causing smokes and mirrors, because again, that's a product, again, when we made it, was made out of basic black and white paint. Add a couple other things in there to change it and alter it, but it was basically the basic form of that product was black and white paint. So when we see this color pop up, we automatically know what it is. And then when I watched the demonstration, the first time somebody sent it to me and I saw the black and white paint demonstration, I was like, gee whiz, he's making the same stuff we were making like 9 years ago. That's why it was so easy to come in and do the video and make 3 of your products that I had at the house that quick, that fast, because we've made this stuff so many times, it's not even funny. I can make this stuff in my sleep. So when I watch our demonstrations, I'm watching your screens react the exact same way that screens were reacting 9 years ago. That's why I give you challenges, because in those challenges of our technology we have now doesn't match anything we had back then, because it would never be able to complete any of the challenges. It would fail miserably. That's why we give you those challenges. And when you can't complete those challenges, it shows us you have nothing new. Your product is a 9-year-old product. Every demonstration you do, I see the exact same reaction I saw 9 to 10 years ago. That's why when I sit there and tell you the product was house paint, I wasn't joking. When I popped the top, I was like, ooh, this is not gonna be good. And what happened? Matching those products were matching house paint. There you go. Because that's how they were made back then. Nothing new, man. That's why I said when we had naysayers coming in here, they didn't realize that I was making screen paint that far back. I was making great products before I even came down the road to black technology. That's where I first started off at. So you're talking to somebody who has years and years of experience in both fields. How are you going to make black technology when you don't even understand what you have now? You guys doing demonstration about painting over any surface on a great, we did it already. This is what this demonstration is. So all the demonstrations that you see them talking about doing it, we did it already. Everything they did, we've done it already. Nothing new. You're watching old stuff being introduced on a high-end projector. Still same dark and vibrant scenario, but yeah. So this demonstration from 7 years ago, basically I spray painted and marked up a wall. When you did a goose screen, because that's what we're doing against goose screen, we did a goose screen, it took hours to paint the screen, multiple applications as I said before, and you had to do hours and hours and hours of sanding. There was nothing on AVS forums before we got banned. There was nothing on AVS forums, but people were just showing like countless hours just sanding down the wall to get that perfect flat surface to get ready to apply the glue screen.
And this is the paint right here, so you guys can see it. We're using the crystal 2.9 HD screen paint.
Can you imagine spending 3 days sanding a wall, up to a week sanding a wall to get that perfect black? So that way you can basically watch your screen. Painting cardboard boxes, painting drywall, been there, done it. We did all that stuff. Look at the color of the paint. Look how the environment's lit up. It ain't nothing like what you do now. Because you couldn't use that paint in a fully lit environment because the problem was it would wash out. So the fact that we can get one light in there basically was a big improvement, because at that time everybody was doing demonstrations in the dark. All videos were done in the dark. And my stuff would destroy that stuff right now. I'm looking at my old technology versus my new stuff. My stuff would destroy it. Now I go downstairs. I got a screen set up, Fusion, sitting up there at 106 inches, raised up to the ceiling, sitting in a door, and I can play games on it. That's a huge leap right there, ain't it? And y'all still, that's why we got that screen sitting in the door. Oh, I get so sick and tired of that door-and-door demonstration of fake. I got my door open, it didn't make no contact with the screen. The only way it makes contact with the screen, you physically have to have the screen in the freaking doorway. Showing lights, point up to the lights ain't anywhere near the screen. We got a screen we can push up to the ceiling to make sure the light hits it.
Half an hour. Probably less than half an hour.
So at that particular time, that was a big thing. If you're able to paint a screen less than 20 minutes, no sanding, no priming, paint over the surface, and display it with some light in the environment, that was a big thing back then. Now, no. You should be way beyond that. You should be on the same level we're at. So how in the world, this is why I laugh at when I watch these demonstrations, because you guys are doing stuff that was already done 9 years ago. And you're just trying to say, you call me. No, we already know what's in it. Everybody knows what's in that stuff. That's why we don't see any test demonstrations, because you can't test that stuff in a day. It won't do well. The testing that we do, there's no way in the world that stuff would ever pass. Not going to happen. So that's why when we get the challenges, they're never done, because you can't test the product. It's virtually impossible. I told you from the door that the products, when you naysayers come here, capped up and carrying on, I told you from day one that you have house paint sitting on your wall. Now I'll open up a room. The only people that come in here are the people who make the products trying to defend themselves, but I don't see y'all in there. Y'all stay far away from the room, and the reason why is because I told you it was house paint, and even the person himself has acknowledged it's house paint by removing and trying to hide the videos. Now, that's gotta be pretty embarrassing, isn't it? Ooh, is that water?
About a couple minutes and that's it. I got a screen up on my wall, and I'm using value. The paint is white, so the contrast levels are.
So that was a white screen paint that we developed, white. Man, I mean, my buddy was sitting there laughing. I told you when I picked up the phone before you can hear him laughing in the background. Somebody, you told him? I said, I did tell him. I told y'all a long time ago, y'all have house paint. I've been telling you that for a long time. Y'all have house paint. He wasn't testing any of his stuff. And sure enough, there's a video of him matching house paint, and the video's going. So I guess all the flock of crows pretty much got plucked and cooked, hey? Because I don't see any of y'all anymore. As a matter of fact, some of y'all removed y'all videos because you don't want to be affiliated by knowing you just got burnt on buying house paint. But I did tell you what you had. And I told you, you're talking to a person that was making your product before these two were ever on YouTube. So if I tell you it's house paint, it's house paint. Sat there and popped that top and told you that 6 months to a year what it was. And what happened after 6 months to a year? There you go. Told you.
How you guys doing out there? My name is Kenneth Bird.
My goodness. And buying house paint. And even more, evidence that he's been stealing from you and basically selling your house paint. The product that got caught matching house paint, he still sells on his website. Isn't that interesting? What was this? 200 lumen projector.
Okay, guys, how you doing out there?
See the color of that screen?
Creator of Crystal Beach Technology Projection Screen using smart technology gain. This is the immersive 4K cinema, 4K and 3D ready screen. After using the Chromecast in the back of it, I'm screen this off my cell phone. My projector is sitting back, it's 200 lumens, so it's sitting back 9 feet from the screen. We're going to do this demonstration, like I said. It's not going to be the best picture in the world, but remember, it's 200 lumens and a fully lit environment, 9 feet back.
Now, the reason why I did this demonstration, because when we gotta get a name for this one. We just call him the faker and the philosopher. The faker basically did a demonstration on a 200 lumen projector, but he had the projector sitting this close to the freaking screen in the dark. Come on, look at the image. Are you freaking kidding me? That's the perfect name for him, the faker.
This is for those of you who are going to use 200 lumens with the lights out. And this is what you get from our screen.
That's 9 feet back.
So I don't understand, that's my point right there, people. I don't understand why, I mean, who wants to be in the dark 24/7 because of...
You know what I'm talking about, right? In the dark 24/7. He's been doing dark demonstrations for the longest time. That's why he has on his website not ambient light projection, because it's not. It can't be. There's no way in the world that product would ever be ambient light projection. And if you want to sit there and question me, I can give you a bunch of challenges today that'll bury you. I can just go back into my archives. I don't got to bring anything new out. I'll just bring something old out and just basically have you do it. 140-inch screen outside, an ultra short throw projector, 180-inch screen, dual 150s. Which one you want? Let me see. We even had a screen paint developed for black screens. We had a PX747 4K projector when it first came out. He made some dumb statement like saying, these products don't work on 4K. Good gracious, for goodness sakes, crack a freaking book. I test, you don't. I had a dedicated screen paint design I engineered strictly for the PX747 when it came out. And I had that screen displayed on a level that you guys could never even dream of displaying your screen. Let me show you. Let's see, 4K. Oh, no. I'm gonna get the exact one for that one. That's the levitating screen. Black, dedicated 4K screen. We pop up. We're the only ones with a black, dedicated 4K screen. Right there. That'll be me.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? First of all, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Crystal Beach Technology Screens using nanotechnology.
Now, when you got the running your mouth and talking about how you see different screens I've developed and designed. Every time I turn and you see a new screen, that was a beautiful customized baby right there. You see how wide the border is actually white, the screen's black. So it's made to look like the screen is actually pushed in. The back of that wall is bone white and the back of that screen is bone white. So that way the lights reflect down back and forth. I'm the only one who has a screen with a white border on it. And that screen is, I think, 126. It's actually floating. It's not connected to anything. That's how you do a floating levitating screen. And this was actually engineered for a light projector. Oh, by the way, when I did the floating screen, I made sure that the condensed lighting was making contact with the screen, because I see that in a lot of demonstrations with condensed lighting cheating, where you'll have lights pointed in this way and pointed over here and balls of light here and balls of light there. No, when you do a real demonstration with condensed lighting, you see how the light arches? This is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make contact with the screen. And I don't see that. And I can't explain this to a philosopher. Your setup, fake, and I'll tell you why. The condensed lighting is all the way up in the ceiling. Your screen sits under a cliff, which means that lighting up there is not going to make contact with your screen, because I'm not seeing the arches that are supposed to be displayed on your screen, showing that the screen is being physically in contact with the light. pointing up at the ceiling going, look, the switch is not touching your screen. That would be hitting your screen if you have the screen.
I do want to pass on go to sleep right now, but I can't. I have to do this video, and then later on go to sleep.
Look how beautiful that
That's
is. That's gorgeous.
And voila, here you go. And for those of you who want to know if I'm using a 4K projector, this right here is my ViewSonic. This is the PX7 747 projector, 3500 lumens. This projector is 4K. Now, keep in mind, with the luminous black, black, so luminous dedicated black 4K, it can be used with projector. Here is my ViewSonic
4K projector. So don't ever tell me at the end of the day that my product doesn't work on 4K because I've had 4K. Bought it, tested it, been there, done that. You know why I don't do 4Ks anymore? Because when we were doing the demonstrations of the side-by-side and that screen paint, we figured out a way how to make a 720p blend into a 4K projector. Got those demonstrations on display too, to back up that theory also too. Then with that technology again, 1080p's look like 720p's. We did that on the demonstration right on the site. We even now at the Black Series gain level is literally so freaking high that you can take a 1,000 lumen projector, stick it next to a 5,000 lumen, and you couldn't even tell one from the other because they're both generating the same amount of light. Got that test demonstration on display too. So this is the reason why I don't buy 4K anymore. I sat there right there on camera and said, I'm never buying another 4K as long as I live, and I haven't bought one since. What's the point? I don't need it. You guys do.
This is the PX7
I'll show you that demonstration also.
3500 lumens. This projector is 4K. Now, keep in mind, all right, I actually have work to do today. So this is the screen right here. We're doing this as usual, always in a fluid environment. I like
with condensed lighting, nailing the screen.
Just to show you exactly how fantastic these screens look. I even forgot the window was open at one point.
See the blinds are open? See, I can see objects on the other side? That's why I got mad about leaf screens. The leaf screens got there and said, oh, our blinds are open. No, they weren't.
Now, for those of you that are asking how much more...
We're gonna check the lights out. There's like a fish tank.
Oh, he might be hidden away. All right, look.
This is why I'm not rude, but when I say I have developed and designed screens on so many levels, it's not even funny. And I built those screens from the ground up. And you guys, even when it comes to building and designing screens, I'm not trying to be rude and brag here, but you guys are not on my level. Look at that right there. You don't show anything like that, whatever. I built so many screens, it's not even funny. I got screens at 150 inches that dropped to the floor that are turned into movie screens. I had 200-inch screens that would hit the ceiling to the floor. Full display, this immersed screen at 200 inches. Got to give y'all that reality every once in a while. That
Right,
y'all not
there,
even
first of
sit
all,
on my
you
level.
can't convert on the creator of crystal wave technology screens using nanotechnology gain. I just love them. I mean, the Optimus Ultra Short Throw, I did like that projector, but I lean more towards ViewSonic. I do love their projectors. Now, Optimus make good projectors, they do. I'm a big fan of ViewSonic. And you can see I had direct contact with condensed lighting. That's a contact.
Lighting here and there. That screen absorbed all that light like it was nothing. So you're looking at the same lighting that's making contact here on the side of the wall. When it hit this screen, that screen was swoop. That's what you call ambient light rejection technology. When you have actual condensed lighting hitting your screen and that screen's absorbing it and it's not fading or washing out right next to a window. And you guys are still doing these demonstrations tucked away in the dark. .235.1s. I've got tons of those things. 135. I don't know, the constant battle with the 235.1 screen is the fact that I want it, but then I want it and I don't want it anymore, and then I get it back and I miss it and I want it. It's like a love-hate relationship, those things. But it's a cool screen, just can't run anything off of it. That's why the screen I'm designing, I can do both. Only one with a 235.1, 158-inch custom black screen. Here's my baby right there.
It's hard to believe that Mint Mobile can be good at just $15 a month.
how's everybody doing out there? First of all, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Crystal H Technology Screens using smart technology.
How many 235.1s have you built?
Our new channel.
None.
Yes, it is.
Neither one of y'all.
Welcome to
I built
all,
3 or 4 of those bad boys, a couple of them.
So this is, we're going to be showing off a lot of interesting demonstrations.
That speaker has 36 speakers in the back of that screen. I wired them all up on camera and built that screen from the ground up for everybody to see. Here's me showing you the ViewSonic projector. All of them have 235.1s in them. That's my ViewSonic projector, and there we go. Look. Showing you the menu. 235.1. There you go. That's why if I buy, I always buy those ViewSonics. That's why. You ever seen Sonic in 235.1? You have to do it off PC.
Because we got so much cool stuff we're going to be
So
showing.
the console version doesn't have it. That's somebody did that for PC.
235.1. Staircase, you can see this thing. This screen is gigantic. That's me over here. Hello.
That screen was literally so big, I had to get up on that staircase to record it because the screen was too big. So anytime that you gentlemen want to discuss my intelligent level when it comes to projection screens or whatever you want to discuss it with in the day, know this: you know nothing. In my world, you don't know anything at all. You can be my apprentice at the end of the day. You don't know anything. I have been around longer than you have. I have built and designed more screens you have. I've done more customized screens than you will ever even think of. I've developed so many different forms of screen paints on so many different levels. You just can't even count them all, and have the test demonstrations to back up every last one of them, where you have nothing at the end of the day. You are sitting there repeating my old demonstrations from way back then. 9 years ago, 10 years ago. You're so far behind, it's not even funny. And this is why I don't bother with your products. This is why I don't talk about buying. I don't care. Your stuff is an embarrassment. I don't want it in my videos. When I step off into my new level, you don't even exist, and you couldn't even exist in that world to begin with. And you'll be sitting there ranting on camera, and I'll be out there making my money and basically making new connections with my technology. And you couldn't come out there to begin with because, again, that's shark infested. Whereas you'll be eating the minute you jump into the lake or ocean or wherever you're going to see them at. Because you don't have any proof to back your products. Anybody can make your products. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised someone hasn't come up already with their own version of the Cinemax already, because after he matched that network A773, that's a clear indication that you can just make that stuff yourself. Can't even do 235.1 on a gray screen because you got the problem with the bar system. That's why Silver Ticket and 235.1, they give you those curtains. So the curtains allow you to have the black bars without having that ugly looking gray or white at the bottom of your screen. 235.1. This is when I found out about it, because I was over at Silver Ticket when I first started buying 235.1 screens, and I was like, I wonder how much you want for them, because Elite wanted too much. Before I started building them, Elite just wanted too much for 235.1. So I went to Silver Ticket. Silver Ticket had it for much cheaper. So that's how I went with them. That's how I knew about all the other stuff they were showing about the bars and how you put the curtains up and all that stuff. But we were developing black screens anyway, so I just really didn't care. But I thought it was a very interesting theory that they had. Oh, no. We definitely, that's too big. My goodness, I can imagine what that even looks like at the end of the day. Here it is right here. See right here? This explains it to you crystal clear.
Inch of height. The most common aspect ratios are 16:9 or widescreen format and 2:3:5 or anamorphic format. Many people ask which of the two is best for them. Hopefully we can answer that question for you. 16:9 is far more common than 2:3:5 in home theater. Most projectors come natively to 16:9 aspect ratio because that is what television and video games are most commonly formatted to. You want to choose content appropriate to the aspect ratio and an aspect ratio appropriate to the content that you watch. If you're going to watch sports, the cameras at the stadiums are actively filming in 16:9. So trying to watch it in any other aspect ratio will not give you the full effect.
Like I showed you in 235.1 how the entire score at the bottom is completely missing and the top of the elements are gone. Yeah, that's why. It won't work.
This is the way it is with any type of media. You're going to need to pay attention to what content it was filmed in, or you may not get the most out of that content. This is your screen. In this scenario, it will be a 16:9 aspect ratio because that is what most projectors project into. If you're watching a 4:3 aspect ratio on your 16:9, it will look like this. Notice the black unused projection area.
Remember I told you about the projection screens that they're selling over at Amazon that have a 4.3 aspect ratio? Yeah, you can't run 16:9 off that because you'll be missing the sides. They'll be completely gone. They won't even be there. It'll just be a square. That's it. But they told you if you basically take the screen and you pull it up a little bit, you could basically pull off a smaller version of a 16:9.
This is called pillar boxing. That is your projector projecting black pixels, which means the pixels in the center will not be using the full resolution available to you. If you project a movie showing a 235 image on your 16:9 frame, you will have a similar effect, except now it's on the top and the bottom of the screen. This
Showed you that in the demonstration too. So if you do it in 16:9, do it at 235.1, you don't miss your sides, you miss the bottom. That's where you get the bars here and here. And if you do it in 235.1 physical screen, like if I show a movie in 235.1, I'll be to see, even though I have the bars here and here because the screen will be at 16:9. If I do it at 235.1, I can only watch movies in that particular area that are 235.1. If I try to do it in 16:9, I'm going to lose this, and I'm going to lose this at the bottom. I won't see it, but it's 235.1 will fit in there perfectly.
This is called letterboxing. Again, you have unused resolution in those black areas.
Oh, by the way, that letterboxing is supposed to be black, not gray.
Paying attention
And
to
the reason why I
aspect-
say that, because I see this in demonstrations where people are showing off this letterbox effect on a gray screen, and it'll be just so gray and washed out and so ashy. And they'd be like, oh, this is, no, it's not. No more letterbox is supposed to be black. You can't pull that up. There's something really wrong.
ratio of your content will help you choose what is compatible with your setup. Here's an easy way to explain.
Here we go.
Let's say that these option 2, another entry-level option accepted to another aspect ratio into the confines of this frame. This means that in order to use the entire area of the projection, you must project into 16:9. This is the most common and widely accepted way to project. Whenever you need to project into another aspect ratio, you can either ignore the letterboxing or find a masking option like curtains to block the unused projection. Option 2, another entry-level option, except this time we are going to use a 235 frame. First, you can project 16:9 into this frame,
So basically-
but you will have pillar block to block the unused.
Now you see the curtains? Remember I told you about the curtain effect? If you have a gray screen, white screen, or even a silver screen, you cannot produce the black bars because your screen can't recognize contrast levels and therefore will not see it and cannot pick it up. And that's why you get that ashy looking gray at the bottom. Yeah, that's why, because the screen's having a problem. So to fix that problem, they give you these curtains. And these are the curtains you have to put at the top and the bottom to fix that problem. Black screens don't have that issue because they're 100% black, which means they do the same job the curtains are doing, except for that's the screen doing it. And if I want to convert into 16:9 again, boop, I can pop in with no problem, where guys who have the gray and white screen are going to have to pull those curtains back so they can see the rest of their screen when they transfer over to 16:9. The benefits of black technology versus gray, silver, and white. There you go.
Use projection.
When you have somebody telling you that, oh, the best way to go, man, gray screen is so outdated, it's not even funny. Curtains, really. I mean, it's a good concept that they came up with, and I think it's a very good concept. But when you have a screen that's 100% black, you don't need to have curtains down there. I can do 235.1 setting downstairs, and I don't have any curtains to put up there because my screen's physically black. But I told you, right there. That affects gray screens. They have that issue. You're supposed to have black solid bars from here to here if your screen's black. If you're doing a 16:9 to convert it to 235.1, you will get the black bars at the top and the bottom. If you do a 16:9 and you have a 4.3, you will get your bars here and here because it goes into our letterbox mode right there. But for those of you, of course, it doesn't make a difference. My screen can do 4.3, it can do 16, I can do all the aspect ratios because my screen's black and therefore it has a border regardless of whatever it hits. Where on a gray screen, you won't have that issue. Correct, gray screen, you will have that issue because gray screen has a border that comes all the way from here to here, but you're going to completely miss that the minute you turn it into any one of these aspect ratios, which means the border is no longer going to be here. You're going to have this huge, massive gray line here and here because the border is not going to be to stretch over. It's right here. This is what I've been trying to explain to people for the longest time. I'm glad Silver Ticket basically shows this demonstration. We're trying to explain to people why your gray screens and white screens are considered to be old screens at the end of the day. You can't even produce a proper border on those screens at the end of the day. Your border is set to the size of your screen. So if you have a projector with multiple settings, you can't use any of those multiple settings in there due to the fact that you have to stick to one setting that's going to hit that border so you don't have this strip of gray and white running across your screen, either from here, here, or there. Where a black screen is not going to have that issue. That's one of the other benefits of black technology.
You can either ignore the letterboxing or find a masking option like curtains to block the unused projection.
Now, see, we don't have that issue because the screens are black. Okay, people, hope you enjoyed the demonstration. It's been a bit of a long one, but I like to share a lot of information with you so you can see exactly, this, that, and the other. I like to address the naysayers once in a while to let them know that, yeah, stuff that you're pushing at the end of the day, that stuff is so outdated, it's not even funny, really. It's like somebody coming up to your house and I got the latest vehicle. It's a Ford car. You take a little crank, you stick it in, and you crank it up, and it just takes off at 15 miles an hour. It's the latest technology. You guys got retro paint on your wall. There it is, what you got. Gotta go. Thank you all.